Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the introductory press conference after the trade deadline with Monte McNair. Remember, if you have a question, please raise your hand. We have 2 mics on both sides. Everyone on Zoom, if you could raise your hand, and we'll get to you in a timely manner. And after that, be all good. Okay, Monte McNair.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you for your patience while we were waiting for these trades to clear so I can speak to you guys. First, just want to welcome Donte, Josh, Trey, and also re-thank Domas, Justin, and Jeremy, who you guys got to talk to the other night as well. We're excited to bring them aboard. I want to thank Buddy, Marvin, Tyrese, Jemias, Robert, and Tristan. Got it. For their contributions. We certainly wish them the best going forward. Some thank yous to my front office team, Wes, Ken, Phil, Paul, Joe Dumars, our scouts, our analysts, and the rest of our support staff for their tireless work, not just this past week, but the past couple months. Truly a team effort, and I really appreciate it. We're excited to have this new group of guys join us. Some that we saw the other night already. Domas, 2-time All-Star, 25, incredible skill set, versatility, passing, rebounding. He can really do it all on the floor. We're excited to see him continue with us. Justin, an athletic wing, veteran who's been around a lot of winning organizations. We're excited for what he's going to bring. Jeremy, versatile scorer, size, shooting, can play both ends of the floor. Donte, hard-nosed, athletic defender, offensively versatile, and a great team player. Josh, a versatile and athletic defender, can guard multiple positions, get up and down the floor. And Trey certainly brings size, shooting, and basketball acumen. So we're excited to see these guys get on the floor tonight. When we first kind of met as a group, I guess, almost 18 months ago now, I said we want to be aggressive but patient. We need to be disciplined, and we'll be strategic while building out the talent base here. But when the opportunity presented itself, that we would take a swing. And I think we've seen both deadlines. We've seen a little bit of the discipline, and now we've seen a little bit of the aggression. We were able to keep all of our picks, add flexibility going forward, and do that while acquiring a 2-time All-Star and adding more talent around the rest of our roster, which will allow us to continue to build this team out going forward, starting this summer and into next season. So we're very excited for the result there. In addition to Domas, who is a 2-time All-Star, we got some guys that we've been targeting for a while, guys that we think fit our culture and what we're trying to build here in Sacramento. So we're excited to have them join as well. Look, our goal is to improve the team, not just now, but into next season and beyond. Add players who will help us, but will be with us as we continue to grow this team into the future. So I certainly can't wait to see everyone. We got half of them on the floor the other night. We got the other half coming tonight. I'm really excited, and with that, I'll take questions.
Yeah, Monty, I think a lot of times your patience look like inactivity, and so you've been under a lot of pressure, it seems like, especially from the outside. But just how good did it feel for that first game to not only see the fan response, but then to have the comments from guys like Domas in post saying that, he thinks he's found his basketball home?
Yeah, being disciplined is tough sometimes. And we knew we wanted to get this thing back to the playoffs. That's our stated goal. But we also need to wait for the right opportunity. And it certainly is nice when the first game goes like that. We hope the second and third and subsequent games go just as well. And certainly I think adding guys like Domas, whose comments Justin spoke to the fans after the game, Jeremy as well, that are not just good players, but guys who are excited to be here in Sacramento. And I think we saw certainly Domas's smile post-game, ear to ear, and that's great to see, and that's a big part of it.
Hey, Monty, how's it going? When you look at the Fox-Sabonis pairing, those two obviously very skilled young players, how do you feel that they complement each other?
Well, I would say first, like, pace. We want to run, and we all know Foxy's speed, fastest player in the league, and what he brings. But playing with pace is about more than just running up and down the floor. And one of the big things is getting a rebound and getting it out quickly. And Domas is one of the best rebounders in the league. He can push it himself, like we saw Wednesday night. He can get it to Foxy and let him go. And then we've got now, more and more wings and forwards that can run with those guys. So I think that's one huge way they complement each other. And then we saw in the half court just we all know what Foxy can do with his speed to distort a defense and kind of play make for others. But Domas's passing ability and just gravity helps not just De'Aaron, but the rest of the guys as well. So hopefully we'll see more of that.
And then with Donte, it's a guy you guys obviously been looking at for some time, and he had a tough injury he's coming back from, and he was in and out of the rotation a little bit there. What are you hoping he can bring to the team, and how is that ankle recovering from that injury last year?
Yeah, Donte is certainly somebody we've targeted for a while, and we're very excited to finally bring him into the organization. And I think we've already seen since he's come back, he's progressing well and starting to have some bigger and bigger games. And this is a guy who was starting in the playoffs last year for the eventual champion. So we know what he can do on the floor. We're excited to see him come in and do it here in a Kings uniform finally.
Hey, what's up, Monty? When you look at moving a piece like Ty, who was your first draft pick and obviously had big hopes for, how much does this feel like a roll of the dice or even a gamble from the organization standpoint? Yeah,
look, Ty's a fantastic player, as we all know, but certainly a fantastic person as well. And, in this league, it's tough, and we know we have to give up talent to get talent. Any move can be viewed as a roll of the dice, but our job is to make those decisions that we think put us in the best place to succeed going forward. And bringing in a two-time All-Star who's 25, we think will be with us not just in the short term, but we hope has a long future here in Sacramento. In addition to two other guys who are proven winners in this league, that opportunity was something we couldn't pass on.
And then, obviously your job has to put a successful product on the floor. That coupled with, pandemic stuff, fan attendance was dipping. How much is that kind of factored into when you make a decision like this?
I think for us, we've stated our goal, which is to not just get to the playoffs, but then stay there. But we want to do that as quickly as possible. And, somebody like Domas who's been on an all-star team twice, but is still at an age where he can be a part of not just the team that gets us to the playoffs, but the team that allows us to win a round and then another round and be a part of hopefully a long playoff, run here. That's, to us, that's huge. And, he's somebody that, can really do so much on the court and not just make our team better because of what he does, but his teammates better because of what he does. So, we're really excited to see him bring that here.
Hey, Monty, Chris Tavares. The play-in tournament, you guys are just on the outside looking in right now, 25 games left. Is that the immediate goal, or is it a push all the way to the full-on big playoff tournament?
Yeah, Chris, I think there's only so many opportunities throughout the NBA calendar to make impact moves, and the trade deadline is certainly one of the biggest ones. So this move is not just about now, it's about now and the future. And like I've said, we added multiple guys who are going to help us now, certainly, but will be a part of our future going forward. And certainly we want to win. We have 25 games left. We want to win those, and if the cards fall that put us in the play-in tournament, we'll try to win a game or two there and get into the final eight. But this is also about next year and the year after, and putting ourselves in a position where we will continue to not just be in the playoffs but compete there, year in and year out, continue to grow this thing. So, this was about a multi-year kind of improvement, and certainly we hope the dividends start paying off right now. But this is not just about the next 2 months.
Good morning, Monty. I know you're real good at math. I want to ask you about history, though. This franchise made a move like 24 years ago to get Chris Webber, kind of transformed things around here. And I wonder if you see those parallels with this move for Domas, and also whether you have where's your level of confidence that you'll be able to keep him here long term, and he has truly maybe found a new home.
Well, to answer your second question first, I think his comments after the game were awesome, and getting it, not just a fantastic player, but a fantastic player who wants to build a home here and be a part of something special here is fantastic. And to your first question, certainly there's a fantastic history of skilled passing big men in this organization, Vlade, Chris Webber, among many others. So, I hope Domas continues to carry that torch. We saw a little bit of it Wednesday, and he can do just so much on the court. Like I said, that just not just helps us because of his scoring and everything, but what he does for the rest of his teammates. I think we saw Chemezi have, I don't know if he had like 5 dunks in the first quarter or something. He should have had 6, but I told him, you got up too high, man. You hit the ball again above the rim. But that's what he does. He makes his teammates better. He brings toughness. He brings leadership. He brings all those things. And, certainly there's been guys in this organization that have done that in the past, and we hope he's the next one.
Yeah, Monty, you talked about bringing guys in that fit your culture, and now that we're finally seeing a roster that is a lot of decisions from your regime rather than some carryovers, how would you describe that culture that you feel like you're trying to build here?
Yeah, we want competitors, toughness. We certainly know that, as we've talked about in the past, we need to continue to improve our rebounding and defense. And I think all these guys that we brought in are not just great players, good talent, all that type of stuff, but guys who are going to fit into that type of culture that we're trying to build here.
Monty, Chris Biederman, Sacramento Bee, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You'd mentioned not trading any draft picks, and I'm curious how you sort of struck that balance and what the conversations were like, given that you do want to improve now, and maybe moving some of those picks could have helped you improve now, and just sort of what those discussions were like.
Yeah, we're always trying to just see like how we can deploy our our picks, our flexibility in the future, and all those things to add talent. And so it's always a balance. I think for us, in this case, we were able to actually net out a plus pick between the 2 trades with a future second-round pick, and obviously we had to give up some good things to get the things that we brought in, but we did it in a way where now we can use our picks and that flexibility starting this summer to continue to improve the team and add the talent around the guys that we have. So it just so happened that this time there was no picks. We were able to keep them, but if the opportunity presents itself down the line, we'll be aggressive to go use those when the time comes. So it was really just a matter of happenstance at this point.
Monty, the trade that you made to get Domas, just how quickly did that come together? Because it was one that we had heard, rumors of. You guys had interest in him, but it seemed like it did come together quickly at the end.
Yeah, I'll just take a step back and say that obviously we see the flurry of moves in deadline week, but it's not like the other 29 teams and us are starting on Monday. This is really a process that never stops. We have conversations in the summer about players that we think could help us. Really starting in December, I would say, is when things pick up again. That's when free agents can be traded, guys that have signed over the summer, things like that. And really, it's like a 2-month process into deadline week. So, we do our due diligence. Certainly, things tend to come together at the end, but certainly something that we spend a lot of time on preparing.
Monty, kind of following up on that, just when you look at the way the landscape has shifted in the NBA because of the trade deadline and everything kind of leading up to that, how different or unexpected were some of these moves that were made, not only from just the Kings organizational standpoint, but even throughout the landscape of the NBA, did it kind of fall in line with what you were thinking overall?
I've given up trying to predict what's going to happen. Some years you think it's going to be slow and it's crazy, and some years you think the opposite, and sometimes we're right. So we don't, it's fun to kind of prognosticate on what's going to happen, but we do the same process every time. We got to be prepared because we don't know what's going to be thrown at us. I've been in trade deadline rooms with 30 minutes left where something came completely out of left field that would be franchise altering. You just have to be prepared for whatever that is. And so we do our diligence. We start prepping on the targets that we want to look at starting day one of the regular season, really in the preseason. And like I said to James, this carries over from the summer and previous years. This is not a static process. So, it's certainly there were some fireworks around the NBA, but for us, we're just focused on what we think makes us better, and we think we did that.
Monty, Lindsay Polaris from Fox 40. I know Richaun Holmes was the subject of a lot of trade rumors. How do you see him fitting in now with the team, especially with the addition of Domas?
Yeah, no, Richaun's a fantastic player. Somebody we've seen just with his energy and his skill set find ways to help his team win over and over. Alvin and the rest of our coaching staff are going to be creative to find ways to get our best players on the floor in situations that help the team win. And Richaun's done that throughout his career in a variety of different roles. And whether it's, offensively, defensively, scoring, rebounding, Richaun is a winner, and he's going to find a way to help us.
Hey, Monty. Matt George, ABC 10. De'Aaron Fox looked noticeably relieved and almost refreshed playing alongside Sabonis. How much of this decision was trying to get him a front court partner, and was he not necessarily involved in the decision, but was Sabonis a request or a player that he suggested might be a good guy to play with?
De'Aaron's awesome. I think we've seen what De'Aaron can do. Player of the week, I think twice last year. I think he was averaging 25 points or so in January before his ankle injury. But De'Aaron is amazing, and I think we saw what. But Domas is certainly somebody we've targeted for a while, and we think his skill set complements De'Aaron. De'Aaron's skill set complements him. And like I said, Domas' skill set complements just about everybody. He might even be able to get me some open shots out there. So, we're excited to see those two guys together, for hopefully more of what we saw Wednesday night.
As soon as the trade was done, was that other teams didn't know that Haliburton was available. I mean, you were shopping all of your players for the entirety of like the 6 weeks, 8 weeks building up to the trade deadline, right?
Yeah, I would maybe don't believe everything that's out there, but yeah, no, I think look, we do our due diligence. Anytime there's a player that we think can help us, we go kick the tires on that player. And Domas is a very unique player in that he's, like I've said, a multi-time All-Star and still at really like almost a pre-prime age. At 25, so there's not a lot of guys that fit that bucket, and we were excited to be able to bring him in.
Monty, where do things stand with Alvin and sort of looking beyond this season, and how you feel about the job he's done, and maybe potentially removing the interim label or not?
Yeah, no, it's Alvin's. Like I said, he's been creative in trying to figure out ways to get. Our team, playing better. We've seen some strides, and now he's got a task to incorporate 6 new guys into the fold. And certainly Wednesday night with half of them in there on very little practice time was fun to see. And so Alvin's been around the league. He's been seeing so many situations. So I have no doubt he's going to get these guys ready for the next 25.
Monty, just how do you look at Josh Jackson as someone you picked up? I mean, obviously he was in Fox's class, taken ahead of him, and here he is on his 5th team, expiring contract. But what do you just kind of see his growth, his development, in the situation that you guys have him here?
Josh has kind of come into his own a little bit lately and kind of found his niche in the league, I think, and he's just such an incredible athlete and defender, and really like offensively still still growing and showing his versatility there. But I think, he hangs his hat on the defensive end, and he's got the athleticism, length, and kind of tenacity to guard multiple positions. So I think that's, kind of what he hangs his hat on and what we hope to see with us.
Monty, I know a lot of the analytics stuff is kind of viewed as like proprietary information, but I'm wondering, like, if you can share anything, like, in terms of the way you've analyzed this group and now the new group in terms of maybe what you've added, and just talk a little bit about what you see as strengths, deficiencies, and where you think maybe you've addressed that stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't think you needed any sort of advanced analytics to see that the results weren't there so far. So nothing proprietary there, but like I said, we know what our stated goal is, and we felt that we had to, if the opportunity presented itself, that we would go and try and improve the team. And with these two trades, we think we've done that, and the stated goal has not changed.
Okay, we'll just go to Zoom for one question. Tony?
Yeah, Monty. Actually, I have just a couple questions. The other one, I'm just looking for a moderate response. But the first question, which hasn't been mentioned, Trey Lyles. He's bounced around a little bit in the league, but he still has potential, and he certainly can add something to the mix, to the bowl of what you're trying to do. I just want to get your thoughts on him, and I'll follow up with the next question.
Trey brings a very unique skill set. He's with incredible size and shooting touch. So as we look to, continue to surround, you can never have enough shooting in this league, and shooting and size together is certainly coveted. And I think Trey will bring that kind of unique skill set to the team.
Okay, so you understand what I'm asking here, because Jeremy Lamb and Justin Holiday, they are known to be shooters. Probably not at the accuracies of a Buddy or probably Ty, but just bringing those two into the fold and their shooting, because that was one of the discussions that we had with Alvin the other night about the shooting. Jeremy and Justin seem like they can fill in that spot, and I think if you can explain that when you were bringing them in, that they could fill that void of the guys going out. Is that correct?
For sure. Jeremy and Justin are both proven shooters and scorers in this league. And, as we look to build, De'Aaron, obviously Harrison as well is shooting over 40%, and Domas, shooting is certainly one of the key skill sets we'll look to continue to build around those guys. And I think, as you mentioned with Trey, Justin and Jeremy as well, those guys are going to be able to fill that out, and as much shooting as we can put on the floor, still have defenders and toughness and rebounding. That's something we'll look to do certainly around De'Aaron and Domas.
All right, everyone. Thank you, Monty.
All right.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.